Yes, you read the title right. Your favourite character sucks in Marvel Rivals. Not every character in Marvel Rivals is bad, but if you're watching this video, I can guarantee it's because you are questioning your character. Maybe even having the inevitable character crisis, wondering whether if your chosen hero can do it. In some cases, only sometimes, you're right, but sometimes you're just so wrong. Jeff the Land Shark is undoubtedly the worst character in the game, and was the first victim of the rework. The first character in the game to have his kit changed so massively that it wasn't classified as just a buff or a nerf. Instead, he needed a full-on redesign. He badly needed this because he was just so awful and anything above a bronze ranking, but people weren't just dumb enough to die to the old Warlock. The main change they made was turning his main attack into an ability on recharge, and making his heal and water stream now damage enemies too, which at least means he can heal and deal damage at the same time. But for some reason in this rework they decided to reduce his healing bubbles from 5 down to 3, and put a limit on his only movement ability, hide and seek. So he took one of the worst characters in the game, announced that he would be changed to improve his viability in top tier, and then made changes that made 3 of his 4 abilities objectively worse. The main issue was his inability to heal as fast as other characters, and instead of improving the healing rate of his stream or bubbles, they reduced his amount of bubbles and weakened his main utility. If you play Jeff, it's okay. Your character sucks. Just use Rocket instead. They somehow accidentally made the cutest, most marketable character into the worst and most hated one.
I pressed the wrong button. I'm so sorry! Bitch.
It might be a bit too early to call it, as he only came out a few days ago, but I have a feeling that Ultron is bad. His healing abilities are all weird, except for his ultimate and team ups, they are all passive area of effect heals. His main ability is putting a passive heal on one ally, which then heals other teammates around him, so he can give himself and people within his healing radius some extra health. So all Ultron has to do is stay alive and he's healing. But if your team's separated from each other, there's not much you can do, and you're probably not going to heal much. And even though he looks ridiculously powerful in his reveal trailers, it seems like he can't put really that much damage out in return for his little healing. So maybe I'm just not able to tap his potential, or maybe the most recent addition is a bit of a dud. It's one of the most banned characters, how he is a really annoying to hit dive character who can one combo kill most healers. But somehow, whenever he's on my team, he's going 0-9 and can't even distract the healers long enough for me to get an assist. The real issue with is that nobody has any clue how to use him properly. If he's on your team, Ansar is absolutely useless. But if you're against him, you're probably going to be unlucky enough to be against a good one. Basically, is a very definition of a skill issue. But at least this season you can complain about losing the Venom team up and the Ultron drone out healing your damage. Emma Frost basically has the exact same issue, but instead of obsessed losers playing her, it's fully losers who want to catch a peek whenever they can at the dominatrix. Basically, most of the people who use Emma, even if they've wasted 100 hours getting the Lloyd icon, do not know what they're doing. She doesn't have the same damage issues as the other guy, but instead struggles with range out of everything. Her primary mind laser attack thing has a pretty short range, and a diamond form which gives her really good damage resistance is melee exclusive, but put out a massive amount of damage with the right combos. So the real challenge of Emma is just managing your range using her shield, using that to get closer rather than just protect yourself or your teammates from range. Most of the people you see using Emma just want to see her ass move as they play her and don't know how to actually use her kit properly and do something useful. Mantis is a character that has the complete opposite issue. She's really easy to use, which makes her quite popular, just passing around her life orbs to heal her team and increase their damage output. All you have to do is manage the cooldowns of all your rules and get as many headshots as possible to speed it up, so then you can heal more. But no matter how many headshots you get, and how many orbs you put on people, Mantis' healing is just really slow, and is hindered by a lack of group healing and burst healing besides her ultimate. Thor was the other character to get a rework at the same time as Jeff, but the only change they actually made was putting a standard cooldown on his hammer throw, rather than tying it into his 4-4. This really didn't change much for Thor. He's still one of the weaker tanks in the game, being one of the few to not have a shield and his inconsistency in his ability to sustain himself. But it does have good movement and damage, which makes him a popular dive tank for killing healers. Which makes it a shame for Thor that Captain America exists. He's a melee character, like Thor, but has a shield which he can throw for range. He also has a dash of movement and a sprint and a high jump to avoid attacks. Captain America is basically just Thor, but with much better survivability and basically just invalidates Thor right now. Thor's awakened state gives him better damage than Captain America, but Captain America's basically unkillable when he's got a healer. Black Widow's problem is similar to Thor's, except she plays the complete opposite way around. She is one of the many snipers in the game, but she's just hopelessly outclassed. I mean, her sniper can't even get a one-shot kill with a headshot, and it's bow action, so chances are somebody's going to heal your target in between the shot. But then you just look at Hawkeye, who can one-shot kill Lunar Sight midway through her ultimate, which just makes Widow look pointless in comparison. Warlock is a really weird character because it feels like his abilities in the game don't really represent his character in any way. He shoots lasers out of his staff and snaps his fingers to heal people, and all of his healing has a really long cooldown. And for some reason he is literally the only healer with no movement ability, despite Warlock usually being able to fly. So there's basically nothing stopping him from getting dived and absolutely bullied. But at least Adam's got his ultimate, Full Team Resurrection, and it's about the only thing he's got going for him, because support ultimates are always broken, and it can just completely put team fights out of nowhere. Scarlet Witch is a character that basically plays herself. Just hold the fire button at enemies and you automatically aim and never have to reload. As long as you're in range, you do damage and occasionally throw an orb to do some more damage. Obviously, because she's just so easy, they made her actual damage output much weaker than most other DPS characters. Her ultimate's also just way too easy to predict and counter, with about half the characters being able to break it up or even needed to kill her. At least for her primary fire aiming itself, it makes her really good against flying characters like Ultron and Iron Man, which are being used and abused right now. So she may be weak, but at least she's got a place in the meta as a counter. So basically, the only character in Marvel Robles who's really bad to play as is Jeff. But there's plenty of popular characters who are just awful to see on your team. I mean, who doesn't just lose faith in the game when somebody instantly jumps on Psylocke in quick play? But most of the time, the character you main isn't going to be the character you have the most fun with, rather just the character you do best with. After confessing my love for Wolverine, I barely get a chance to play him still. because of how everyone is better than me at DPS, and we are now in a flyers meta, making him useless. Your favourite character sucks. My favourite character sucks. We're all in the same boat here. Oh yeah, and make sure you subscribe and watch another video while you're here.